Far beyond the shallow stereotypes of ambition, discipline, and relentless work ethic lies the enigmatic soul of Capricorn, embodied in the ancient, mystical symbol of the sea goat, a creature half mountain-climbing goat, half deep-diving fish, rooted in Mesopotamian myths where it was linked to Enki, the god of wisdom, water, and creation. This is not the Capricorn of pop astrology, reduced to a cold, ladder-climbing caricature obsessed with status and success. Instead, it is a profound archetype, forged in the crucible of Saturn's unyielding lessons, shaped by the weight of time, karma, and the soul's eternal quest for meaning. The sea goat's dual nature, earthbound resilience paired with the plunge into spiritual depths, reveals Capricorn as a sign that does not merely strive for worldly heights but seeks to balance the visible labor of ascent with the hidden currents of the unconscious, transforming hardship into wisdom, burdens into mastery, and silence into sacred strength. To truly know Capricorn is to see past the surface, to understand a journey that weaves together the tangible and the intangible, the mountain and the abyss, in a lifelong alchemical process of soul evolution. The sea goat, known in Babylonian cosmology as Shur-Masha, is no mere decorative symbol, but a key to Capricorn's essence. Its goat half represents survival through discipline and endurance, climbing steep, unforgiving cliffs with a precision that speaks to the human capacity to overcome material challenges. Each step is deliberate, calculated, and grounded in the Earth's density, a testament to Capricorn's ability to navigate scarcity, hardship, and limitation with unyielding resolve. Yet the fish tale tells a deeper story, plunging into the primordial waters of the unconscious, where dreams, ancestral memories, and spiritual truths reside. This duality sets Capricorn apart from other signs. While Aries burns with impulsive fire and Gemini dances with airy curiosity, Capricorn's earth-water nature demands a slower, heavier path, one that requires not only scaling the heights of achievement, but also diving into the shadowy depths of the soul. The world may see only the goat's climb and label it ambition, but the fishtail's descent is where Capricorn's true power lies. In confronting the unseen, the forgotten, and the painful, forging wisdom that transcends the material. This interplay between ascent and descent makes Capricorn one of the Zodiac's most liminal archetypes. They are not content with superficial victories or fleeting pleasures. Their journey is about creating something enduring, something that withstands time's erosion. The sea goat's myth, tied to Enki's paradoxical nature as both creator and trickster, suggests a divine cunning in Capricorn, a capacity to navigate both the rigid structures of order and the chaotic fluidity of the deep. In ancient Sumerian tales, Enki was the master of hidden knowledge, the one who gifted humanity with wisdom while breaking boundaries when necessary. Capricorn carries this legacy, not as a reckless rebel, but as a quiet strategist, building systems that endure while staying attuned to the undercurrents of the human psyche. This is why Capricorn is often misunderstood. Their seriousness is not coldness but a profound awareness of the stakes, that what is not built with care will crumble, that what is not rooted in depth will falter. Saturn, Capricorn's ruling planet, is the stern lord of time, karma, and consequence, casting a shadow that shapes this sign's path from birth. Known in Greek myth as Kronos, the titan who devoured his children to preserve his power, Saturn embodies the devouring nature of time itself, relentless, impartial, and unforgiving. Capricorns feel this weight acutely, as if born with a ticking clock in their bones, a constant reminder that every moment must be used wisely. Many Capricorns face early responsibilities, caring for siblings in unstable homes, managing family crises, or stepping into adult roles long before they're ready. These burdens forge resilience but also etch deep fears. Fear of failure, fear of weakness, fear that letting go will lead to collapse. Saturn's lessons are not delivered with kindness. They come through trials, limitations, and the stark reality of cause and effect. A missed opportunity, a careless choice, a moment of weakness. Saturn ensures Capricorns feel the consequences, not as punishment but as training for mastery. Yet Saturn is not merely a taskmaster. It is a teacher of transcendence. Through its harsh lessons, Capricorn learns that time is not an enemy but a sculptor, carving the soul into something enduring. Saturn's discipline transforms fear into foresight, hardship into strength, and limitation into wisdom. Capricorns often emerge from their trials with a quiet authority, not because they seek power but because they've mastered the laws of reality. They learn to plan not just for today but for decades, to anticipate challenges others ignore, to build structures that outlast fleeting trends. This is why Capricorns are often drawn to roles that require long-term vision: architects, historians, leaders who ensure continuity when chaos threatens. Saturn's gift is endurance, but it comes at a cost. The weight of responsibility can feel crushing, and the fear of wasting time can drive Capricorns to sacrifice joy, relationships, or rest. Yet when they embrace Saturn's lessons consciously, they discover that discipline is not a prison but a path to freedom. A freedom earned through mastery of the self and time. Capricorn's ambition is perhaps the most misunderstood aspect of their archetype. The world sees their relentless drive and assumes it's about ego, status, or wealth. But Capricorn's ambition is rooted in something deeper. A primal need to leave a legacy, to prove that their time on Earth was not wasted. They are not chasing fleeting applause, but permanence. Something that will stand when empires fall, when fads fade, when their own lives end. This is why Capricorns build with such care. Whether crafting careers, families, or institutions, they are the architects of civilization, the ones who lay foundations that others take for granted. A Capricorn might refuse quick success if it feels shallow, choosing instead to build brick by brick, ensuring the structure is unshakable. This patience frustrates those who crave instant results, but it's precisely what makes Capricorn's work endure. Yet this drive often leads to a crisis of meaning. After years of climbing, earning degrees, securing positions, building families, many Capricorns reach the summit only to find it empty. The corner office, the accolades, the financial stability feel hollow without purpose. This is Saturn's initiation, forcing Capricorn to shift from external ambition to inner mastery. The true climb is not to worldly heights but to the summit of the self, where discipline becomes wisdom and achievement becomes service. This crisis is not failure but transformation, pushing Capricorn to ask, what have I truly built? What will outlast me? The answers lead them to a deeper ambition, not for titles or wealth but for integrity, for a legacy of meaning that serves the collective. This is why Capricorns often become mentors, leaders, or guardians later in life, using their hard-earned wisdom to guide others through time's trials. The mountain is Capricorn's eternal metaphor, a symbol not just of challenge but of solitude, perspective, and the sacred union of earth and sky. Life for Capricorn often begins at the mountain's base, where obstacles loom large: poverty, family dysfunction, or responsibilities that demand maturity far too soon. These early trials are Saturn's training ground, teaching that hardship is not a barrier but a step upward. The climb is dual: external, through careers, reputations, and legacies, and internal, through confronting fears, doubts, and wounds. As Capricorns ascend, they encounter solitude. Friends and loved ones may fall away, unable or unwilling to endure the path's steepness. This loneliness is not punishment but purification, stripping away distractions until only the climber and the summit remain. From the mountain's higher ridges, Capricorns gain a vision others cannot see: the cycles of history, the patterns of consequence, the long arc of time that shapes civilizations. This perspective makes them natural leaders, not because they crave power but because they've endured the climb and seen further than most. Their authority is earned through suffering, not handed through privilege. At the summit, Capricorns touch the divine, realizing that the climb was never about personal gain but about service, building structures that shelter others, preserving wisdom that guides generations. Yet the mountain also teaches humility. The higher one climbs, the smaller they feel against time's vastness. Capricorn learns that true greatness lies not in conquering the mountain but in serving it, in becoming a bridge between the human and the eternal. Capricorn's shadow is as heavy as its light is profound. Born from its strengths, discipline, endurance, responsibility, the shadow emerges when fear takes hold. Fear of collapse, insignificance, or chaos can turn discipline into rigidity, ambition into control, endurance into joyless suffering. Capricorns may cling to order, mistrusting spontaneity, believing that vulnerability will unravel their carefully built worlds. In relationships, this manifests as emotional distance, as they guard their hearts against chaos. In work, it appears as workaholism or perfectionism, a compulsive need to prove their worth. At its darkest, Capricorn's shadow becomes the tyrant, valuing structure over compassion, order over freedom. History is littered with such figures. Leaders who built enduring empires but crushed souls in the process, mistaking control for strength. Yet the shadow is not an enemy but a teacher. By facing fear, Capricorns learn flexibility. By embracing vulnerability, they discover true strength. The shadow's lesson is that control is an illusion. Only by surrendering to time's flow can Capricorn fulfill its purpose. This is the initiation of the shadow. To transform rigidity into adaptability, fear into courage, and control into service. When Capricorns confront their shadow, they emerge not as oppressors but as guardians, wielding discipline with compassion and ambition with humility. The shadow teaches that true power lies not in dominating others but in mastering oneself, in building structures that uplift rather than confine. At Capricorn's core lies the wounded child, a tender, hidden truth beneath their stoic exterior. Many Capricorns grow up in environments of scarcity, instability, or emotional neglect, forced to suppress needs and take on adult roles early. They become the caretaker in a chaotic home, the provider in times of want, or the silent strength when others falter. This shapes a cautious, watchful child who believes love is earned through duty, safety through control. As adults, Capricorns carry this wound, projecting authority while secretly fearing they're not enough. Perfectionism and self-criticism become their armor, driving them to prove their worth through relentless effort. Healing this wound is Capricorn's greatest initiation. By acknowledging the child's pain, nurturing vulnerability, and realizing that worth is not tied to achievement, Capricorns unlock a well of compassion. This transforms them into mentors, healers, and anchors for others. Their strength, forged in early hardship, becomes a gift. They offer stability to those in crisis, empathy to those in pain, and wisdom to those lost in darkness. The wounded child teaches that vulnerability is not weakness but strength, that love is not earned but given freely. When Capricorns embrace this truth, they become not just climbers but guides, carrying the light of their scars to illuminate others' paths. Capricorn is the keeper of time, living with a visceral awareness that every moment carries weight. Saturn's clock ticks relentlessly, urging them to build something lasting. Whether traditions, institutions, or wisdom, they are humanity's archivists, preserving what others forget, ensuring that knowledge and values endure across generations. Karma binds them to collective responsibilities, often inherited from ancestors. Many Capricorns are born into families where they must carry unresolved burdens, debts of emotion, obligation, or survival. This weight feels heavy, but it's also sacred. Capricorns are the custodians of continuity, weaving personal sacrifice into the fabric of civilization. Their challenge is to balance preservation with renewal. Clinging to structures past their time leads to stagnation. Embracing change while honoring roots leads to wisdom. When Capricorns master this, they become time's alchemists, turning cycles of loss into seeds of rebirth. They teach humanity that time is not a thief but a teacher, that life's meaning lies in what endures. This is why Capricorns are often drawn to roles that shape the future. Elders, historians, leaders who ensure that the flame of wisdom burns through the darkest winters. The sea goat's fishtail demands a descent into the underworld, not the passionate plunge of Scorpio but a deliberate walk through shadow. Grief, fear, loss, and ancestral pain are Capricorn's initiations, forcing them to face what others avoid. These descents are not punishments but transformations, teaching that wisdom lies in darkness as much as in light. Capricorns emerge from the underworld as psychopomps, guides who know suffering's terrain and can anchor others through it. Their strength is not in avoiding pain but in carrying it, turning scars into sources of empathy. The underworld reveals that true light is earned through shadow, that endurance without heart is hollow, and that the soul's depth is as vital as its climb. Power for Capricorn is not about dominance but stewardship. They lead to stabilize, not control, building systems that protect rather than oppress. Their authority is earned through endurance, not seized through force. Yet the shadow tempts them toward tyranny, where fear of chaos breeds rigidity. History's oppressive rulers, empires built on order but stained by cruelty, reflect this danger. Capricorn's true power lies in service, leading with humility, enforcing discipline with compassion, and building structures that uplift the collective. Their karmic task is to transform power from control to guardianship, ensuring that authority serves rather than enslaves. Capricorn's collective role is profound. They are society's backbone, stabilizing families, communities, or nations. Often thrust into these roles without choice, they carry others' weight, becoming the dependable worker, the quiet leader, or the family anchor. Their shadow is martyrdom, sacrificing too much and breeding resentment. But when balanced, they embody leadership, preserving traditions while enabling progress. Capricorns are civilization's builders, ensuring survival through discipline and sacrifice. Their personal climb is always tied to the collective's endurance, making them the silent pillars of humanity's continuity. Saturn's return, around ages 29, 58, and 87, is Capricorn's reckoning, a moment when time demands an accounting. The first return strips illusions, forcing Capricorns to align with their true purpose. The second shifts focus to wisdom, pruning what no longer serves. The third completes karmic contracts, preparing the soul for transition. These cycles are heavier for Capricorns, already attuned to Saturn's gravity. They face brutal truths about their choices, but each return is an initiation, transforming fear into clarity, limitation into liberation. Capricorns emerge as guides, helping others navigate time's judgment, teaching that endings are thresholds to new beginnings. In love, Capricorn seeks sacred contracts, not fleeting passion. They build trust slowly, offering loyalty and stability over grand gestures. Fear of vulnerability makes them guard emotions, risking distance, but their devotion is profound. Love shown through action, through building a life that endures. To love a Capricorn is to climb with them, sharing burdens and forging a bond that withstands time's tests. Their challenge is to balance strength with tenderness, learning that vulnerability strengthens connection, not weakens it. In the Zodiac wheel, Capricorn is the bridge between Sagittarius's fiery vision and Aquarius's revolutionary air. As the 10th sign, it marks the shift from personal to collective, grounding dreams into reality. Capricorns ensure that Sagittarius's truths are preserved and Aquarius's innovations have a foundation. They are the wheel's pivot, anchoring humanity's evolution through cycles of rise and fall. Their role is to balance preservation with progress, ensuring the wheel turns with purpose, weaving the past into the future. Capricorn's masculine face is the builder, disciplined, authoritative, the father who sets boundaries. The shadow is control, hardening into tyranny. The feminine face is the guardian of the flame, patient, nurturing, preserving life's continuity. Her shadow is self-denial, giving until depleted. Together, they form Capricorn's whole. Strength and care, structure and nurture. Honoring both is Capricorn's path to balance, creating a legacy that blends authority with compassion. The body reflects Capricorn's soul, bones for structure, spine for integrity, knees for humility. Bones are society's foundation. The spine bears life's weight, knees bend to adapt. Capricorns feel this physically, risking burnout if unbalanced. Their body teaches that endurance requires flexibility, that strength lies in honoring limits. They embody the temple of time's wisdom, standing upright through storms, their physical form a mirror of their spiritual endurance. Capricorn's destiny is mastery of self, time, and karma. They build slowly, sacrificing ease for permanence. Their legacy is not fame but endurance, structures, wisdom, or care that outlast them. Spiritually, they serve the collective, anchoring humanity through crises. Their destiny is to teach that meaning lies in what endures, that responsibility is freedom's foundation, that every burden is a step toward wisdom. The mountain of the soul is Capricorn's eternal truth. They climb through hardship, descend through shadow, and emerge with wisdom. Their journey is not easy but sacred, transforming burdens into strength, time into legacy, pain into purpose. Capricorn is the sea goat, the alchemist of endurance, carrying the mountain within, forever climbing, forever enduring, forever weaving the soul's wisdom into humanity's timeless story. Their gift is to show that life's meaning lies not in avoiding time's weight, but in carrying it with grace, building not just for today but for the ages, ensuring that the flame of wisdom burns through the darkest nights.